A strong Senate attack on President Clinton's Bosnia policy as a new wave of ethnic cleansing begins. New independent testing finds some child safety seats downright dangerous. And a magic potion that burns off fat. The wait may soon be over.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. The Senate has voted to end an embargo that's keeping arms away from Bosnia's outgunned army. The vote over President Clinton's strenuous objections came on a proposal by Majority Leader and presidential candidate Bob Dole. It now goes back to the House. The story from National Security Correspondent David Martin.
Mr. Dole.
The Senate vote to lift the arms embargo against Bosnia was overwhelming, 69 to 29. But the president immediately made it clear he will not go along.
I do not believe the strong course for the United States and the strong course for the people of Bosnia is to unilaterally lift the arms embargo.
The resolution calls for lifting the arms embargo only after a UN withdrawal, so today's vote has no immediate consequences. But it is an unmistakable repudiation of the president's efforts to keep the UN in Bosnia.
The president's policy hinges on using the threat of massive airstrikes to prevent the Serbs from overrunning Gorazde, the last so-called safe area in eastern Bosnia. Today in Brussels, NATO approved the strike plans, but one senator told the Serbs they don't have much to worry about.
As for Gorazde, don't worry too much about attacking that either eventually, because the West doesn't have its act together.
One of the biggest obstacles to airstrikes has been a command structure which gave the UN Secretary General the final say on whether they should be launched. Today, he relinquished that authority.
The Secretary General has decided to delegate the necessary authority in this respect to his military commanders in the field.
However, one big obstacle remains: hostages. U.S. officials had insisted the Serb tactic of taking UN peacekeepers hostage would no longer prevent airstrikes. But under the plan approved today, if the Serbs take hostages, NATO could still call off the airstrikes. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
A new CBS News New York Times poll shows about 60% of Americans back the lifting of the Bosnian arms embargo. Only half that number back having U.S. troops protect UN peacekeepers. The poll also shows considerable confusion about the war. Only 12% say they follow it very closely. In Bosnia, the stream of Muslim refugees on the run for their lives is becoming a flood. Thousands are reported fleeing the so-called safe area of Bihać, which is under attack. And only now is the terrible truth about what happened in fallen Zepa becoming clear, as we hear from correspondent Barry Peterson.
The Serbs call it ethnic cleansing and brag about their efficiency. Does it not sound horribly familiar? The echoes of Holocaust, of evil the world thought was banished. Being on the list means they leave and they live. The UN is left to stand and watch. There is a final look. They may never see their homes again. All night they traveled, making their way to Sarajevo's hospital. Met at dawn by doctors, bleary-eyed from waiting. Do they seem like faceless refugees? Would it help to know that Kadira Avdic is terrified for her family left behind? Or that Salim Chesko was wounded